5th of December 2025. It's Monday morning. Bible. What is the significance of fire? Why is fire used so often in the Bible? We find in 1 Corinthians 3:13, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. Just in the New Testament, the word fire is used over 79 times. You know, in Hebrews 12:29, for our God is a consuming fire. Luke 12:49, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? Matthew 7:19, every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is cast into the fire. Hell is described as in Mark 9:48, where the worm dieth not and the fire is not quenched. We're told in the last days that the Antichrist is going to make fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Matthew 13:40 says, as therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of the world. Luke 17:29 says, but the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone upon the heaven. It rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Matthew 13:42, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Revelation 20:15, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Acts 2:19, I will show wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. Revelation 16:8, and the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. Well, you know, fire is a purging. Fire is judgment. Fire is demonstration of God's wrath. God is a consuming fire. I've been in a couple fires in my life. I was burnt pretty bad in one of them. And especially on my hands, second and third degree burns. It's probably one of the most painful things I've ever experienced in my life. I actually went into shock. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was cast into the fire, and not even their clothes were singed, or the smell of smoke was not even on them. And there was one likened to the Son of God seen with them in the fire. Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither. Then came forth of the midst of the fire. Daniel 3:26. Peter talks about, think it not strange, this fiery trial that should try you. Fire has always been a means of warmth. You know, when it's cold, you start a fire. It's cold here in Pineville, Missouri this morning, and my wife is starting a fire in our stove, in our wood stove. You know, but fire is also a symbol of God's power. God not only is over the rain and the thunder and the lightning, but He also is a consuming fire. Amos 2:5, I will send a fire upon Judah, and it shall devour the palaces of Jerusalem. Psalm 79:5, how long, Lord, wilt thou be angry forever? Shall thy jealousy burn like fire? Psalms 18:12, at the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed, hail, stones, and coals of fire. Well, I think that we have to be reminded that there is a significance in the fiery judgments of God. Psalm 104:4, who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers as a flaming fire. Deuteronomy 4:24, for the Lord thy God is a consuming fire, even a jealous God. Job 41:19, out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Fire also shows that God is over all of the elements. He's not only over the waters and the heavens and the firmament, but He's over the elements, the fire. Psalm 148:8, fire and hail, snow and vapor, stormy wind, fulfilling His word. Proverbs 6:27, can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? There are many times throughout the Old Testament where God says He's going to send a fire. You know, sacrifices, the many sacrifices that were performed in the Old Testament, there was fire associated with burning the sacrifices. Well, Jude 1:23 says, others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garments spotted by the flesh. Psalm 29:7, the voice of the Lord divideth the flames of fire. Deuteronomy 4:33, did ever people hear the voice of God speaking out of the midst of the fire, as thou hast heard and lived? The significance of fire is pretty profound throughout the Bible, and most of the time it is associated with God's judgment. This earth is going to be burned up by fire. First time it was destroyed by the flood. Second time it's going to be destroyed by fire. It will be burned up. Jeremiah 23:29. Is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rocks in pieces? Psalm 18:8. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. Leviticus 6:13. The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar, it shall never go out. Matthew 25:41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. Joshua 11:9. And Joshua did unto them as the Lord bade him. He hoed their horses and burnt their chariots with fire. 2 Thessalonians 1:8. Flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not God, and they that obey not the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. Well, I didn't realize until today how often fire is mentioned in the Bible. The significance of fire. Revelation 10:1. I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. Well, one of these days this earth is going to be burned up. Going to be destroyed by fire, and then there's going to be a new heaven and new earth. Wherein dwelleth righteousness. Revelation 4:5. And out of the throne proceeded lightnings and thunderings and voices, and there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God. Revelation 20:10. And the devil that deceiveth them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Well, let us always remember that our God is a consuming fire. May the good Lord be with you this day is my prayer. God bless.